We, Create, were hired by you to research possible market opportunities. We were given a time period of 16 weeks in order to create an expansion strategy to bring your sustainable and tree-free food service packaging to a new market. Throughout this video presentation, we will bring you our findings, possible courses of actions to the needs of the market at hand, the pains and gains of the possible endeavor, the financial benefits and costs of the new market, and a conclusion on whether or not such an opportunity is worth the effort for your company.
Create concludes that BEGREEN has the best chance of successful entry in France by targeting convenience stores. We came to this conclusion by observing that convenience stores have the biggest growth compared to other markets within France, a market growth of 5%. With consumer trends influencing the behavior of convenience stores, we believe that this is the ideal target to pursue in the early stages of the market entry. Comparing the option of convenience stores to other options, such as takeaway and catering services, bakeries, and airlines, we found that the logistical nature of the airplane services would be incredibly hard to keep up with in the beginning stages of moving to the European Union. Furthermore, we discovered that airlines are adequately prepared for the 2021 ban and have found contracts with BEGREEN's European competitors, leaving us no room for possible entry. When looking at takeaway and catering companies, we found that these companies are often not connected to brands or franchises, but rather individual companies themselves. When conducting surveys and further research to where these companies gather their packaging products, we found them to use channels such as wholesalers or online stores directed by the wholesaler. Finally, looking into bakeries, where we can see that these are a rapidly decreasing market size. No growth in the market size and paper solutions being adequate, we concluded that this is not a potential market for BEGREEN. Further, looking into the reason why these market size is decreasing, we found that the convenience stores are producing fresh food more often, including bread. France has an average annual sales volume of 708 million fresh meals. The convenience retailers are a key sector in the uprising trend and are heavily affected by the EU legislation and ban. BEGREEN's sustainable trays and clamshells could be a fitting solution to this problem. To explain the reason behind the selection of France, we have to take a step back and look at the entire European continent, observing strong sustainable trends within the European Union, where we see a ban in 2021, affecting all 28 European Union members. Furthermore, we see non-EU countries within the European continent have less pressure to change these plastic regulations. However, these will possibly follow after the Union's 2021 ban. In order to find the ideal starting environment for BEGREEN to enter the European market, we have decided that an immediate and fast opportunities that the European Union offers are the best starting point for BEGREEN. Further, looking in detail on which region or country would be beneficial to target first. In order to determine the most beneficial country for BEGREEN's expansion, the research group created a selection process with 2 rounds. The first round included all 28 EU members, which were then evaluated on their consumer sustainable awareness, political stability, amount of recycled plastic, customer buying power, and labor cost. After comparing the relative scores, Create was able to detect the 5 most attractive countries: Ireland, Denmark, Estonia, Malta, and France. In the following round, these countries were scored against each other by logistical opportunities, BEGREEN supposed startup cost, and further expansion options. Finally, this process led to the conclusion that France offers the most benefits for an expansion. Compared to the other 4 countries, France has a logistical advantage, since logistics to Central Europe are easier and neighboring countries have a similar trend and operating structure. Therefore, the chance of further expansion is greater and simplified. When looking at the reasoning behind the European Union, we first have to see the market as a global entity. With a quick observation, it became apparent that regulations regarding single-use plastics such as cups, cutlery, or plates were introduced in several Asian countries. Due to Asia's sustainability trend, this is an interesting market for BEGREEN, which they have concluded themselves several years ago, when they launched their newly acquired manufacturing plant in Suzhou, China. This plant is operational and preparing for entry further into the Asian market, leading us to conclude that BEGREEN US has no reason to enter this market, only competing to itself in the form of BEGREEN China. Furthermore, looking at the other options, we find that the EU benefits from the same political position, where in 2021 the European Union will ban all single-use plastics. This means that all sellers of the aforementioned plastic items will no longer be able to provide these to their customers. A change in packaging materials is therefore required to provide the European consumer with the solutions to the newly created problem. However, the ban will relieve some of the devastating image created by the current plastics industry. Furthermore, we can see that the European Union, compared to its other continents or regions, is the most politically stable, leading us to believe that BEGREEN can enter this region without major issues regarding political instability. Here we see two figures. In figure 1, you can see the direct competitors to BEGREEN that are already established in the European market. Vegware, an international company from Scotland; Bionetic, a German international producer of food service packaging products; and Biopack, an English company that produces and distributes for the European market. When further observing the potential direct competitors of BEGREEN in Europe, we see that BEGREEN's packaging solutions have a few unique characteristics compared to their competitors. BEGREEN's products are entirely tree-free, meaning no trees have to be cut down and harvested in order to produce the materials needed to manufacture the food service packaging products themselves. Additionally, BEGREEN's products are fully customizable to ensure that the customer has the perfect fit for their product. This is highly usable in the European market, as companies have their own patented products that now have to be manufactured by a non-plastics company. Alongside the customizability of products, the prototyping that BEGREEN can provide is very unique to the European market, and unlike anything BEGREEN's direct competitors can produce. This gives them a benefit, as they can produce newly customized packaging solutions for any event, current influence, or trend in the customer's market. Furthermore, has BEGREEN, like all its competitors, the ability to act as a white label company, producing the products their customers need with the customer's branding on it. As a conclusion, Create established the following value proposition aligning with the views of European customers. We have found that the potential customers value customizability as a big added bonus. The nature of the customizable food service products of BEGREEN brings us to a feasible promise such as tree-free, sustainable, nature-friendly plastic alternative food service products that help us closer to a sustainable future for companies that care, for planet that matters. Furthermore, we have found that the European customers value time-focused service greatly, showing them that BEGREEN is driven to provide their business partners with quick delivery of packaging solutions that support their objectives, approaching all of their customer requests with a high sense of urgency, providing prototyping when needed. Additionally, we observed a high customer commitment desire with the potential European customers. BEGREEN would plan to build trusting relationships with their potential customers, offering all their customers transparent cooperation for a product that is fully responsible from start to finish. Subsequently, we noticed that responsible manufacturing is something highly requested in the industry. With the rising trend of sustainability, we have found that BEGREEN's focus should be on educating customers about BEGREEN's composable packaging, utilizing tree-free, renewable plant fibers, recycling water waste, and reducing general waste, minimizing damage and environmental impact.
The initial goal for BEGREEN would be to reach a 2% market share after 2 years of operating. This would equal a customer base of 4,688 stores, meaning a turnover of 10,542,000 euros annually. In order to achieve the suggested goals, we have established a 2-year plan starting in September this year. The first step, awareness building, would be supported by more fact-based online content on BEGREEN's Facebook site as well as their general website. B2B executives value true facts on industry and business over promotional entries. On top of this, an immediate start on connecting with more potential customers on LinkedIn is advised. Both LinkedIn and Facebook are considered to be the most effective social media tools for the raising of awareness in B2B demand generation. Furthermore, the French publication of the European Supermarket Magazine, as well as Food and Drink Europe, would serve as advertisement space. Their readers mainly consist of retailers, and they are the biggest installments for the industry. The French business newspaper Le Particulier is an additional print medium to use since it offers reader numbers of over 40,000 people. Ads would be published every other month for the duration of an entire year, from September onward. Coming now to the second stage, research, along with evaluating, BEGREEN needs to support the searching process of purchasing managers and simplify the process. After half a year of awareness building, SAP Ariba should be acquired to make networking happen. The target customers use the system for their supplier research but also on later operations to make recording as easy as possible. Before that, search engine optimization is an essential tool to implement. Additionally, CREA's proposal plan includes 3 trade fairs with the European market. First, MPAC in Brussels, taking place in October 2019. Secondly, Europac Euromanu in France in November 2019, and last but not least, the French CEPAC in April. The mentioned trade fairs target retailers and are located in areas our target customers operate in. A year after implementing the marketing plan, most requests for proposals and subsequently purchases are bound to happen. For an improved customer service, a French representative is recommended as a linkage between your US headquarters and the French retailers. Moreover, during the research process, CREATE was able to identify e-sourcing as the most used tool for product adaptation. A detailed application combined with facts on the industry and processes would need to be sent at this stage. Later on, the representative would be responsible for formal negotiations on contract details. To ensure the loyalty of the customers, as a trial order might take place, our contracts will be limited to a certain time span. BEGREEN's EU representative would ensure customer service by maintaining close contact and supporting the reordering process as well as possible adaptations to be made. In addition, emails would be an appropriate tool for regular updates regarding aforementioned topics. Posts on social media platforms could lastly act as a tool to show appreciation and offer to boost the target customer image by communicating the cooperation and involvement with BEGREEN.
To execute the moving to France, we will need to look at the following. The most important step of this process is the supply chain. This needs to run perfectly in order for our operations in France to continue if parts of the supply chain are countering errors. To execute the move to France, we will need to be looking at the following. The most important step of this process is the supply chain. The need to run perfectly in order for our operations in France to continue if part of the supply chain encounters errors. To have this process run as smooth as possible, we concluded that the following structure is the best way to attack this problem. The chain starts with a production facility and warehouse located in Richland, South Carolina. From here, the shipment is prepared to be shipped to the French warehouse in Le Havre. The first step the shipment goes through is the shipment to the harbor of Charleston. This process will take 1 day. When the shipment arrives in Charleston, it needs to be processed and loaded onto a ship to be transported to Le Havre. The complete time from Charleston to Le Havre will be 9 days. When the shipment arrives at its destination, it needs another day of processing, which includes offloading and transferring to the trucks. From then on, it will take a day to be received and stored away in the warehouse in Le Havre itself. This is a bi-weekly process. This means that 29 shipping containers are shipped every other week. For contingency purposes, we need to have a stock in Le Havre to keep our customers supplied even when one of our shipments encounters an error, such as missing containers or damaging of goods. Therefore, we will keep the supply of an additional shipment in our warehouse in Le Havre. This will result in 58 containers maximum stock in Le Havre, which is below capacity. A second important factor in the execution is the changes in production in the Richland facility. At the moment, this plant runs at roughly 35%. When moving to the European Union, this needs to be drastically increased. The 5 machines that are now operated 12 hours per day and 5 days a week need to increase to continuous operation of 24 hours per day and 6 days a week, excluding bank holidays. This will result in a production rise from 150 million items per year to 338 million items per year, at a capacity of 80%. Moving on to the budget and the cost for the European expansion, we will look at some of the most important financial figures. We already discussed the warehouse and its capacity, the annual cost of which will be 150,000 euros. Obviously, for the warehouse in Le Havre, we need personnel to operate. We established that we need 3 order pickers, costing us 25,000 euros annually per employee. Additionally, an EU representative is needed, costing 75,000 euros. This will bring the total personnel cost to 150,000 euros. The biggest expense will be the marketing, totaling 176,658 euros. This is divided into 3 main categories: SEO optimization, the SAP software, and the advertising cost. For the advertising, we have found that written advertising, direct mail, and exhibitions have the biggest impact, and therefore calculated the cost for this. On cost of the mentioned above will bring the total cost of establishment in France to roughly 490,000 euros.
Collectively, the European Union presents itself to be a suitable market expansion for BEGREEN. The plastic ban, as well as the ever-increasing sustainability trend, make it an attractive region for compostable, single-use items. Products similar to those that BEGREEN is producing for the American market. The choice of France can be reinforced by observing the neighboring countries. As stated previously, Italy and Germany are 2 countries with a heavily influenced consumer view of sustainable packaging, leading to possible expansion into markets outside of France through BEGREEN's potential infrastructure in Le Havre. The strategic position of the potential warehouse would be ideal for further endeavors. Furthermore, specifically retail chains are highly engaged in switching packaging for more sustainable options. With a suggested marketing strategy and plan, a targeted approach can be assured since major needs and effect channels are taken into account. The expansion is a financially viable chance, which could be met by BEGREEN's current production facilities. Moreover, the investments taken would be at an affordable level for your company. Leading us to conclude, BEGREEN should observe and act on the current changes in the European Union, and do so before 2021, in order to gain from the legislation changes. We would like to thank you for your attention and cooperation throughout the research.